Well, welcome everybody to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm your host, JB Owen, and I'm delighted to be here today. It's a brand new week. It's Monday, and that means it's a kickoff to a fabulous week of fun and fascination today as we talk about ways to ignite humanity. That's right. We are working towards building a better world and a better future for each and every one of us. And the way we do that is to come together to share, connect, and to communicate in a way that will inspire one another and help them move forward in their lives in a great way so that this ripple effect of fabulousness spreads throughout the planet. Now, I bring together guests on the show to share with you wonderful things on how you can ignite humanity, how you can start that process in your own world and step forward to ripple that into the lives of others. But it all starts with you. And so today, as special occasion, we have more than one guest on the show, and we're going to be sharing some fun things with you about how to create an ignited experience in your home. It's true. Every one of us spends so much time at home, and that place we live in needs to be sacred and wonderful and supportive of our consciousness, awareness, and mental health. And so today's guests are going to be talking about how to create some sacred space in your home. So if you're at home, you get a chance to look around and see how your home is suiting you. And if you're not, if you're driving, if you're at work, if you're on your run, well, you can think about your space and how valuable that is. You spend so much time at home, and we want you to feel ignited in your environment. And of course, our guests are going to do what they always do. They're going to share that Ignite moment. We love to talk about Ignite moments because that's what makes us feel more connected. That's what brings us together. When people talk about their Ignite moment, the thing that sparked them and got them moving forward in life, we feel more connected and we feel more aligned with the individual. And that, I believe, is what is going to ignite humanity. We all need to be closer, more connected, and feel that essence with one another. And that comes from knowing somebody's powerful Ignite moment and their story. And you're going to hear our guest stories today. Well, before we get started, let me remind you, you can head on over to our website to find out everything that we're doing at Ignite Humanity. And of course, we're super excited because we are launching the Ignite Humanity compilation book, where you get to tell your story of how you're igniting humanity in one of our powerful, powerful books. And this one is going to be a doozy. Our biggest book ever. We are going to do major things with this book. It is going to touch all corners of the planet. So if you'd like to share your story, please go to our website and find out more about the Ignite Humanity compilation book. All right, well, let's get started because we got lots to talk about. Anita Adrain and Cheryl Viczko are certified essential feng shui practitioners. This dynamic duo empowers people to align their home and business environment, creating sacred spaces. Co-founders of All in Alignment, their expanding global audience, are always captivated by the organic flair in which these two present their unique concepts. The charismatic duo goes all in, offering expert guidance to move past the limiting beliefs that are unknowingly being anchored and reaffirmed in the personal and professional environment of all of us. I can personally speak to these ladies' amazing abilities. I've had them in my home to help me feng shui my environment and make it absolutely more sacred. Welcome, welcome, ladies. Come on into the show.
Woohoo!
Yes, welcome and good morning or good
morning.
afternoon or good evening, wherever you are on the planet. I know the ladies are in good morning with me because we are in the same space, same environment, same city. So I'm super happy to have you here. I don't always get guests that are local. I'm so blessed to interview people from around the world, but I love that you're just right around the corner. We talked about having the guests in the studio, but we thought it would be so much more fun for them to share in their sacred spaces what they're up to. All right, well, let's jump in, ladies. Sacred spaces. This is a powerful, the word sacred space, I just think is so important. Cheryl, will you tell us a little bit about what sacred spaces means to you?
Thanks, Lady JB. And we're so delighted that we're here. Honestly, appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Sacred sanctuary, all of the above. We spend 30, 40, 60, 80, some people even more time in our homes. And that space should be sacred. It should be a place where we can relax, where we can rejuvenate, where we feel safe, and where we're inspired.
Hmm.
where we're creating. So sacred encapsulates a lot. For us, it's looking at your environment, because that spills out into every part of you.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. If you're in your home and you're not enjoying it, or if you're at home and it's just something you don't feel safe, or you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel relaxed, you can't sleep, like it spills over into every area of your life.
Yes.
Anita, talk a little bit about feng shui, because I know for some people they know what that is, but for others they're not 100% clear. Can you explain a little bit about that dynamic?
Well, you know, it's been pronounced many ways, and thank you for pronouncing it correctly, feng shui. Really, it's very, very simple. It's observing the natural environment in the unseen and the seen world, and how those two energies collide and come together. So the words themselves, feng shui, mean wind and water. So it's a representation of all that is unseen and all that is seen and tangible that we can feel and touch. And it's bringing, again, that mingling, that interrelationship of those two energies, and recognizing that they have to be in sync, right? And that there are so many powerful things that can happen as a result of looking at the tangible, those things we can see, feel, and touch, and recognizing that they are affecting the intangible, that unseen energy. And that's the part that's really exciting for Cheryl and I, where we actually, get to have some amazing breakthroughs with people, and it's just it just brings such joy to my heart and passion when we can kind of help people break through those barriers and help them to recognize those energies.
So well said. I mean, I think a lot of people think feng shui is something, it's Eastern, it's different, it's Asian, it's untouchable, it's something that, just for people who are eclectic or eccentric. But the truth is, and when you ladies both came to my house, it's very, very simple actually. And let me share with you viewers, really, it's how do you feel in your environment? And so when the ladies came and visited me and came into my house, they immediately said, like, how do you feel when you're in this room? Or what are the things you like here? What are the things you don't like? And it was very interesting to me because I immediately said, well, I just don't like this paint color on the wall. And, every time I look at that picture, it reminds me of something. And, oh, these chairs are old. And I just, there's so much. And then they just looked at me and were very, compassionate. And I was suddenly realizing that within moments, I was verbalizing how there was things in my home that I didn't like, that I didn't feel comfortable with, that just weren't making me feel good. And it was like, da-da, of course, if I'm not feeling good about something, then let's move it, let's shift it, let's take it out of the environment, let's get rid of it, and let's transition into something else. And so, Cheryl, you and Anita were both so wonderful, but can you explain that a little bit more? That we keep things, we have things around us, we hang on to things that we really don't like, and we put up with stuff.
We do. We become complacent. Complacency is probably the easiest way to express it. We get accustomed to having something there. We think nothing of it until someone brings it back into our awareness that, maybe I actually don't like that. So when we're surrounded by items that we love, that reverberates in our energy. It fills us with joy. It fills us with passion and ignites that creativity and that spark within us.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? If we're surrounded by things that create anxiety, frustrate us, drive us crazy, that we dislike, it's doing exactly the same thing. It's reinforcing those same feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so true. And I was really aware of that when you ladies came to visit, of the little tiny things, the little rattling of the door, the little, unfinished hinge, the small little things, the little piece of paint that's missing, how they just kind of like creep into your psyche and bother you. And Anita, this is something that when our home is not sacred to us or supporting our emotional state, it filters out into the rest of our lives.
Absolutely. And, further to what Cheryl was talking about, everything, right, in our home has an energetic signature, and it's reaffirming a particular feeling, belief, thought, etc. Right? So it's anchoring that in our home. And so it really, what I've kind of gleaned over the years is that it really comes down to the level or degree in which we love ourselves. And that is always being reflected outward in our environment. So again, creating that sacred space is so important because it honors that person within. It helps us to, to love ourselves more, right?
Right. And you're not saying, gut it all, move,
No.
demolish it all. What you're actually doing is you're giving some suggestions and some ideas on how to make small incremental changes or even larger changes that have a bigger impact. Today is all about ideas. It's Monday. Cheryl, do you have some ideas that you can share with the viewers? Small little things that people can do right now today to help create a more sacred space for them?
Absolutely. Lady JB, one of the easiest things to do is just do a walk around your home. Take notice, make a list. Are there any burnt out light bulbs? Are there any door handles or doorknobs that are squeaking or off their hinges? What little repairs have you let go and let go and let go? Because again, like Anita had mentioned, that starts to affect our psyche. We don't see it anymore. We've met so many people that have said, I've had a to-do list for so long and I never seem to get to it. So get to it.
Good point.
Honor
I remember when you
yourself.
were, and when you were in my house, you were talking about, I had a lot of dated photographs of my kids when they were babies and a lot of like past photos of, decades ago. And not that getting rid of photos and memories is necessary, but you actually brought up a really good point about having not updated photos in the house. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Those how we treat and how we see our children. So when they're a baby, right? You're the doting mother, unconditional love, which continues throughout most of the life. There's times when it's a little conditional, but we tend to, if we treat our children and we catch ourselves treating our children the same way we did when they were 10, and we're not updating those photos are reinforcing to continue to treat your children like a child. And when they become an adult and you become a grandparent and you're still looking at the images of when they were 5 and 6, that's reinforcing how you treated them then and creating that continuous effect of how you're treating them and looking at them now.
Fascinating. I loved it. Anita, talk a little bit about color. You shared about putting some pops of color, adding color into certain rooms, how color affects our mood and can be, important in different rooms in the house. Can you share a little bit about color?
Yeah, for most of us, color is the first thing that we see, right? And so it really has a huge, huge impact on environment. And we only have to look at the big box stores, that they have spent millions of dollars researching how people respond and react to color, to that environment. And so, colors that are very loud, reds and oranges and what we call the colors of fire energy. Well, they are great to have in certain instances. But if you think about nature, what does fire do in nature, right? And it sucks up all the oxygen and all the energy. So if you had too much fire energy, too much red and oranges and that in, say, your bedroom, well, guess what? The person is not going to sleep well. I had, that exact thing when I first learned about feng shui. My children were very, very young. And you just decorate their rooms based on what's available in the stores.
Mhm.
What's the theme of the day? Well, it happened to be back then, the theme of the day was, fire engine red and Thomas the Choo-Choo Train. And so their kids' room, my kids' rooms were decorated that way. Well, guess what? They were showing up in the world reflecting that fire energy. They were all over the place and just, like fire, like flames, active energy. And as soon as I looked through my feng shui eyes in that environment and calmed the space down, bringing in soft tones of earth and yellow, things that just make you feel a little more grounded, my children started sleeping longer. And I think my son at the time, my middle son, was about 8. And he actually, one morning, it was like frantic to get 3 kids off to school. I had a brick and mortar business, life was busy. And I'm like, get out of bed, let's go, we gotta get going. He comes around the corner with his hands on his hips and he goes, "It's your fault, Mom. You feng shuied my room." And he recognized at a young age how the energy of the space, simply by shifting the color, had an impact on him. It affected his entire nervous system.
Yes, it's really, really valuable information. And I think many of us have to dial into the color. Do we like the color? Do we enjoy the color? How does that color make us feel in certain rooms, the rooms we work in, the rooms we eat in, the rooms we sleep in? Such valuable, valuable information. Cheryl, I want to talk a little bit about clutter, because I know that clutter is a big thing. We all kind of like have that clutter room, that clutter closet, that clutter shelf, that clutter drawer. Can you talk a little bit about the pros and cons of the clutter?
Pros. For some people, it's an instant way to get rid of things. It's let's shove them in the closet. Let's, we don't have to look at them. The neighbors are coming. We have company coming. We'll fill the closet. There's more cons than there is pros. So everything, as Anita said at the beginning, everything is energy, and energy doesn't have boundaries. So stuffing the closet full or stuffing a drawer full of stuff just to get rid of it or get it out of sight is creating stuck energy. So when we have, and we're surrounded by too much clutter, we tend to reflect that with feelings of overwhelm, anxiety. We become depressed. Some people, it really, really affects their autonomic nervous system. Our health can be endangered by it. We become very anxious because we don't want the world to see what's actually going on in our homes. However, it's being reflected in our beings. So clutter is a huge impact. And it's not that you're ever done. Like, let's clear the air right now. Anita and I have been practicing decluttering and feng shui for a long time. We still have clutter because our lives change. Things shift. Our careers change. Kids move home. Kids move out. You move into a different space. There's always something shifting in our lives. And clutter can be the tangible items. What's becoming more prevalent now are the intangible items. So the clutter we see in people's emails, in their cell phones, in the electronic devices. Now we've got these storage spaces that we pay for that are invisible. And truthfully, I think it was 2020, $60 billion industry in the United States alone, storage units.
Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah, incredible.
I'd like to speak to that if I could, because clutter is it's huge. It's a huge area that we all need to look at, because again, it goes back to that self-love piece, JB, and it also goes back to the subconscious programs that we have all been that we've all received, whether it's from our parents, our peers, from social media. We've all been programmed to believe that having more stuff equates to having more joy, more happiness, those kind of things. And so it really is almost like a pandemic. I almost want to say that this society of ours that we live in, we have attached ourselves to things, and those things are not bringing us joy and happiness and bliss, and they're certainly not igniting that passion and having us show up to help humanity.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's almost like there's this, this need that we need to go out there and say, okay, what's going on in your subconscious program that you've allowed all of these things to come into your space? And all of those things are attached to an emotion, right? And those emotions are what fuel us, whether it's a good emotion or a not so good emotion. So we have to pick and choose and say, okay, which of these things are uplifting and giving me that positive emotion? Because that's how we create that sacred space, right? And so Cheryl and I love helping people really get clear on those subconscious programs of why we're holding on to that clutter in the first place.
Yeah,
How did
it's a
that
really
come
great
to
point.
be?
It's a really great point. And I just was thinking, like, I need to extend my show to an hour so we can keep talking, because this is such a fascinating topic. And I also find that many of us don't even realize, as you said, subconsciously, what we're hanging on to, what we're not enjoying, what we're putting up with, what we're stuffing in the closet. And when we can clear that and understand that and become more either, a little bit of laughter with it, a little bit of cleanup with it, a little bit of moving on with it, there's this great shift that happens in our lives. As I shared, I love for us to go on, but we have about 3 minutes left. So I'd love to give you each a minute and a half, hopefully, because I want you to make the connection between the importance of your home and your work. This expands also to work and to the office and to the cabin and to the motorhome and to all the other spaces that we have. How being in a space that you feel sacred for you is going to help you be the person that's going to go forth and obviously ignite the next person around you. How this connected sacred spaces is going to help humanity. Cheryl, do you want to go first?
Sure, I'd love to. Great question. And it's perfectly timed, Lady JB, because it doesn't matter where we are, if we're in our vehicle, if we're on commuting in public transportation, if we're in our home, if we're at our workspace, how we feel. We're energetic beings, and how we feel ripples out into the world. So if I'm feeling fabulous, if I'm feeling confident and creative, that's the Cheryl that comes out to the world. That's the Cheryl that ignites other people. If I'm feeling less than, if I'm feeling frustrated and overwhelmed and cranky, that Cheryl also goes out into the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly what everybody else wants to be surrounded by, and it certainly isn't igniting humanity in the best light. It might be igniting a few other fires, which is not what we're after.
Beautifully said. And Anita?
Yeah, I had some insight this week, largely due to the fact that I'm going to be a grandma again.
Yay, congrats.
Some inner contemplation. And it was that, we come into this world with no thing, with nothing. And we leave this world the same way, with no thing, with nothing. And, nature leaves clues. So if we're natural beings living in this natural, environment, in this natural world, there's a big clue right there that, we don't need these things to make us happy. And when we think about all of those making memories to create change, as Ignite does, every memory that we have, whether it's a good memory or a bad memory, is attached to an experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's not attached to a thing.
So well said.
Yeah. So I really, want people to think about that. And let's ignite humanity together by creating that sacred space. And it starts with all of us looking at our environment through a new set of lens, through an energetic lens, to say, do I love this?
Mm-hmm.
Does it support the person I am today and or the person I am aspiring to become?
Well, I love you. I love Cheryl. I love the two of you. I love the gifts that you give to the world. I love the clarity that you bring. And I love just how you share it in such a way that it makes so much sense. It doesn't seem complicated. It actually seems like a gift and a treasure that we give to ourselves. Well, we will put up on the screen where folks can find you and get to know you and reach out to you. I know you do a lot of online training, a lot of classes. The two of you are writing a book to come out and talk about this very topic. You're sharing with the world. You're reaching out to so many people. And I just want to congratulate you on the work that you're doing. Folks, if you want to get to know Cheryl and Anita and learn more about what they're doing, I know they have a lot of classes, a lot of availability. They're on Facebook all the time. You can see the link below. Is there anywhere particular you would like people to go and check out what you're up to?
I think actually, Lady JB, the website's probably the easiest, or Facebook. We're also on YouTube. Look for the girls with the energetic viewpoint. We tend to appear on stage.
I love it. And on that note, thank you so much for being on the show. Can't wait for you guys to come over.
We love you. Thank you, Lady JB.
All right.
Have a
Hugs
great
and
day, everyone.
Thank
you. Got to make feng shui fun. And you can do that with Cheryl and Anita, two incredible individuals, because they're not just talking about the things, they're talking about the emotions, the feelings, and even the background, why we do what we do, why we live the way we live, what's important to us. And it is truly, truly valuable information. So if you'd like to watch this episode again or see any of our other episodes, please go to our link below and you can see this and all the other things and all the other guests that we have that are talking about ways to ignite humanity. We love the fact that our guests show up each and every day, Monday to Friday. We're here every day on Traverse TV, of course, on our website, on our YouTube channel, and our Facebook channel, because we want to give this information to you. We want to ignite humanity. You can go to our website and find out exactly how we do that. And in the meantime, if you're igniting humanity and you want to be on the show and talk about the fun things that you do, well, please fill out our type form and you could be a guest on the show. Tell us about one of your friends. Anything that's igniting humanity all over the planet. We want to hear from you because diversity is important to us, and every single person has a voice, every single person has a story, and every single person has the ability to ignite humanity. Well, I so appreciate you being here. Big hugs to you. I know it's May, so those Mother's Days are coming up, so we're hoping, sending blessings and wishes to mothers and all the mothers out there and all the ladies who are making a big impact in their homes. All right, blessings. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.